child's crying. Why? Okay, this meeting is being live streamed. Got it. We're on live on YouTube at We Could Be Wrong.
Uh-oh. Who's coming today?
Everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
Si, senor. I am sure.
I understand. That is the way to do this.
You see, I'm Speedy Gonzalez with my cousin. There was actually a slowpoke, Rodriguez, I think his name was, and he had like a gat. It was crazy.
I remember that. That was my time frame, man, with Speedy Gonzalez.
Succotash.
A say, boy. Foghorn Leghorn. I'm a chicken hawk, and I like chickens.
Well, that's a chicken right there. Big ass dog.
That was great stuff, man. Great stuff. Oh, shit. It might help. Hold on.
Oh, my God.
Where's my camera? I just noticed I didn't have my camera up. Let's do this. Ta-da! Yeah.
Okay. You literally just shoved bread in my mouth. I can't even eat bread. That's what's sad.
I know it. I just had some homemade clam chowder.
Clam chowder.
Yeah, Katie made it really good. Really good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oyster crackers and clam chowder. She did in a bread bowl for me. My wife takes care of me. That's why I keep my thin, girlish figure.
Oh, very attractive.
Yeah, man. A lot going on in the news today.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, buddy. Is it working out for you?
Yeah, I'm just getting set up.
Oh, okay. All right, then I'm going to not bother you and just wait for you to get on then.
You sent me my link.
Sure did.
Okay, real good.
Bye.
I'll try to get on quick as I can. I
Okay.
know you want to get it before 6.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you soon.
I don't think we're talking about
Anderson's
that.
not coming. That's right, because his parents are here.
Who?
Double check Anderson.
Oh.
Anderson.
So I don't think we're talking about the Raiders guy, are we?
No, who got drunk and killed?
156 miles an hour, dude.
Yep. Well, they're saying he's going to get probably max 3 years.
No, we'll see.
Wait, what happened?
Oakland Raider
wide
guy.
receiver. And he had his kid in his car, by the way.
No, it wasn't his kid. It was his wife, I think. It was just his wife
Okay.
because they were out partying.
Forwarded to
He was doing 156 miles an hour drunk in Vegas, slammed into the back of some lady's SUV, caught on fire and killed her, burned her alive.
And her dog.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And her dog.
Yeah. The Raiders let him go. It's like, we were talking about this. I just don't get it. Because to me, you have money. I'm going out partying. I'm freaking Ubering, dude.
Right.
Or I'm going to hire a vehicle. I don't want to drive around drunk. Makes no sense to me.
Sometimes I guess that's the fun in it. I guess you feel like you can do whatever you want.
Now he's going to be being done by somebody instead of doing somebody.
Yeah, right.
He's not that big a guy. He's pretty sweet looking too.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Sean, do me a favor. Can you send Mike the Zoom link?
Yeah.
Because he's probably struggling. And he says that sometimes when it doesn't work when I send it in group, I sent it to him personally.
Let's see, Mike. Do I have Mike's email?
Send it to his phone. See if that works.
Shit. Let me see. Hold on. Stop. Yeah. There we go.
Okay. You guys have a good Halloween? Anyone dress up?
I dressed up as my work clothes.
We
Okay,
had we had probably about 100 kids. We do our house up like crazy.
Well,
Did you get the link?
I'm joining.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
But
Mike's number is 559, right? Is the area code?
That is correct.
Okay, I'll send it in there. Let's see. There's Karen.
Yo.
Was
What up?
What's up, Karen? You look different.
What's going on?
I know, don't I look a little whiter to you today?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just messing. How's everyone? Where's Mike?
He's getting here. You know him.
Is
Yeah,
he doing better though?
I think so. He's trying to get on right now. Yeah, I think we had 100 kids at our house for Halloween.
We We had none.
No, but we go crazy. People drive from other parts of the city to come to our house because I do like singing pumpkins that are projections, and we have stuff all over the front yard and smoke machines. And my wife gives out full candy bars. We've done it for years, so people just know our house.
Rose Garden?
No,
Oh.
over by the Generals,
Oh,
by Patton and MacArthur and Scott, the World War II generals. But it's close,
Hey, we're like live on streaming, and don't give out your address, dude.
dude. I didn't. I gave a general area.
Okay,
If someone wants to come look for me,
no, relax.
I believe in
My-
Second Amendment rights. Remember that, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
I have my stuff. That's why people don't believe me. I'm more of a middle of the road person because I believe in owning weapons, buddy. I've got them. My grandson actually threw me in too, because I ended up getting a crossbow and I hid it behind my door so my wife wouldn't see it.
All right.
And my grandson threw me in. He goes, look at Grandpa's new crossbow. It's like, oh, God damn it.
All right. We're just gonna have Mike on the phone because he's struggling way too much.
Hey, Renee,
Hey, what's up, buddy?
how you doing?
Good, good.
All right.
What's going on, Renee?
Hey, what's up, bud?
Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to.
Okay, so you forwarded me.
Plus, most of this stuff has our names on it. They can look us up anyway, dude. Come on now. Let's see. Christopher Harris.
Where is he? He was just here. This dude.
Oh, Lord.
Now, if you start searching Christopher Harris, you're going to find that British car show guy.
Yeah, but if they have pictures, they're not going to look alike.
I look white and British. What are you talking about?
Governor, you
I
do.
mean, wait, aren't you?
Right?
Wait,
Well,
who's talking?
there's black Englishmen.
But I said white. And
I know, but I said there's black Englishmen too.
yes, there is. All right. All
Oh,
right.
crap. He was almost there.
I know.
This is the struggle with Mike.
where's Anderson?
His dad's here.
Oh,
Is his dad on the show too?
He should be.
Oh, there you go. Look at
See
that.
if his
That
dad
was
makes
cool,
sidekicks
Renee.
also.
Renee, that was a cool background.
Yeah, thank you.
What'd you do there?
Can you hear me, Chris?
Yay.
I absolutely can.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, everyone, just rock and roll.
Let's see here.
That's a horror movie.
All right, so Sean, order because Anderson's not here. Sean, give the order. I'll start it off.
Who's gonna do, you're doing the intro, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's go Kevin, Pete, Renee, Karen, me, and Mike.
You got everyone got that?
Yep.
Okay.
One more time.
So Chris will start, then it'll be Kevin, Pete, Renee, Karen, me, and Mike.
Got it.
Okay. You guys ready?
We're
Hi,
ready.
everybody.
Hey, Mike.
5,
What's going on?
4. Welcome to We Could Be Wrong, but who cares? This is Christopher Harris. Our friend Anderson is off for today. He's with his parents, and they're making some cool stuff. Now, here's the thing. I would like to start off with making an announcement. And then after I make my announcement, I would love to hear Renee's and Pete's thought right after. And then the rest of the floor could be opened up. The announcement.
We haven't introduced anybody yet.
Oh.
Well, Renee's here. Pete's here. Obviously. But we're here. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
You excited, Chris? You
Yeah,
excited?
I'm super excited.
The well-laid
So,
plans
this
of
is
mice and men.
Christopher Harris. If you're co-host.
This is Kevin.
And Pete.
Renee.
Karen.
Sean.
And Mike.
And welcome again to We Could Be Wrong and Who Cares? I'm going to make an announcement right after the announcement. We're going to pass it straight over to Renee, then Pete, and then it'll be opened up for the rest of the floor. Now, there was a great question that was brought up to the group. The question was, hey, do you guys think that, I think we have live watchers right now. The question is, do you guys think that what happened in Virginia and Jersey is going to affect the midterms? Well, I'm going to answer it by saying this. I think President Biden is a failed president. Let me tell you why I think he's a failed president. One, I think he's tried to play it too cool, as former President Obama did, by trying to keep his cool, keep everything calm. I think it's failed him. I think the Republican Party has just done a stellar, terrific job with social media and media in general, putting out their narratives as well as winning in the cultural wars, such as vaccines, such as the fact that parents should have a say in what their kids learn in schools. And these things are just destroying the Democrats. Renee, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's Kamala Harris said it correctly when she was campaigning in Virginia. She said that what gets decided in Virginia will directly affect what happens in 2022 and 2024. And she said it, and she can't go back on that. Now she's trying to say that they're not worried about it, this won't affect it, but it came right out of her mouth. Also, once again, today on the news, I saw the newly elected this governor, right, Virginia. She's a Black woman.
No, it's Boston, Mass.
Huh?
Boston, Mass. Virginia was the Republican businessman one.
Okay, which one's the one the black girl one? It was a race where she's Black. There
was an Asian woman won Boston mayor.
I think that's the lieutenant governor of Virginia, Renee. Is the Black woman, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She
once again, she had to much of the nation didn't even know she was Black. And then there's
Absolutely
there's a Hispanic, someone that's Hispanic that won, and a first Hispanic in that position, and absolutely no press about it either. So it's just in hearing the news today, she was saying people want to make it seem like Black Americans are really bad today, like in the days when my father was growing up. But don't forget, we've had a Black president elected twice. And, it's not the same. And I'm here to prove it. And she says, I'm a Black woman, a proud Republican. And that's what the Republican Party stands for. Unfortunately, a lot of Democrats, they say otherwise, and it's sad that they try to use the race card over and over again and not congratulate a Republican Black woman, or other minorities that are winning in the Republican Party, just because they believe that they own all the minorities and that all minorities should be Democrat and shouldn't vote Republican. I do think it's going to affect the elections going forward, because people are opening their eyes, and they're seeing that everything that Biden has done so far, he's failed at. He can't get bills passed. He's struggling within his own party with progressive Democrats and more moderate Democrats, and they have a lot of problems. I think this is going to this represents what Americans are thinking right now and how they're going to vote.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with what Renee's saying there for sure. I mean, at least I hope that this is an indication of what we're going to see. I think people are kind of fed up with it. They're kind of seeing what's going on. There's just kind of a lot of talk, and the reality is not there. And as people are starting to waken up to that, they're going to vote that way. We'll see it.
Well, it looks like the New Jersey went to the Democrat narrowly. It was announced by the Wall Street Journal just an hour ago that the Democrats won that race.
Okay.
And
That's not
Major
possible.
problem,
That's not
though,
possible.
Sean.
why?
It's not possible.
Why?
Why is it
Because-
not possible, or what? What's I'm lost.
Because clearly the people obviously are so fed up with the way things are going
Oh.
that within 1 year, we can see exactly the way the rest of the country is going to go within
Mike,
1 year.
I think you're missing the
Pretty
point when
amazing.
you say that.
No, you know what? They make comparisons, right? I think they said when Bill Clinton was in office, and the way things turned at around the same time that things were happening. They made comparison on news. I'm not prepared for this, but they said looking at what happened in past years when the Democrats controlled the House and controlled other things, when these certain states started flipping to Republican, that kind of created a wave, and eventually things turned to go Republican. So
Well,
that's why they're saying
I think
that.
they say both parties do that, Renee. If it's a Democratic president, the House usually has a tendency to turn Republican. If it's a Republican president, the House has a
Because
tendency
of-
to turn Democratic.
Oh,
And there
you're
was
right,
actually
but-
an Asian girl that won the mayor of Boston, the first female woman of color elected to the mayor of Boston, happened to yesterday also.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say though, it's always something that results from bad policies, starting from the presidency, that creates this wave.
Well, did Trump have bad policies, which is why the House became Democratic? I think it's the nature of people.
No, absolutely.
It's the nature of
A lot of people didn't like what Trump was doing, including me, and I'm a Republican. So
Yeah, but back then you
Yeah.
did.
But not first
And-
year,
and
though,
now-
Renee.
and
Not
now-
first year.
and now, people are gonna start to see that the things that Biden is doing isn't in the best interest of America right now.
You know, I really feel that, and I'm sorry for picking on you, Mike. It's not my intention to pick on you, but I really think you're missing the point to what Renee is saying and to what Pete has been alluding to since he's joined. I think Pete actually said it now too. The Democrats have absolutely taken advantage of the minority vote. And again, the party has gone too far left when you have people like AOC continuously demanding things. And then you have, Mnuchin, who is a real moderate. He's being slammed by other left media outlets. This party is becoming just fractured when everyone stated the Republican Party was fractured. And I really feel the Republicans should totally laugh, at us or at Democrats, not necessarily us as them, like that. Because
You're moderate.
Thank you.
No, he's a Democrat. He just said it.
Okay.
Isn't it historically though, Chris?
Can you
Let
open
me-
up and tell us some of your thoughts, and then Sean, we'll probably get back to you.
Yeah. Well, let me answer you since you addressed it to me.
Sorry.
Okay. One thing, you asked us a while back about how things were going, and I remember very clearly saying, if the Democrats continue to press the policies they're continuing to press, there will be a monster sweep in 2022 of the Republican Party. Okay, so I still stand behind that. But what I'm responding to you and to Renee right now is, we're in a year, guys. We're in a year. Let's don't overdo it that we've been in a year. Okay, he obviously it's a creaky, leaky ship. And
Well, I'm sorry.
the other part of it, Renee, would be, it is, I gotta say, it's two things. Number one, I think there are 6 of us from California on this panel. Okay. If you'd like to make a bet, $10 a piece without anybody cheating, I bet you more of them don't know who the Lieutenant Governor of California is than do know who the Lieutenant Governor of California is. So you were acting like that was an important deal. People don't pay much attention to the Lieutenant Governor often.
I think it was an important deal that she was a Black Republican. I think that
Okay.
was the bigger point. Important
Sure.
deal.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're going to see a lot more of that. There's no doubt about that in my mind. That's going to be easy to predict. That there's going to be more Black Republicans starting to emerge and show themselves and get traction, which is nothing wrong with me on that regard.
If you YouTube Black Americans turning Republican, you'll notice that a lot of them are going to the Republican Party because they feel like they're treated in the Democratic Party. They feel like they're treated as if Democrats don't even have to fight for their vote. In other words, oh, they're Black, they're voting Democrat. So they don't even, like, they'll go all out trying to get like the Hispanic vote and all this stuff like that. But with Black Americans, it's almost a given that they think that, oh, well, they're Black, they're Democrat. So they don't feel like they're getting represented, or they don't feel like they're even like being fought for their vote. Like their vote is already in the bag for Democrats.
Well, anyone should have
interrupting, guys, but I'm getting we're live streaming, and this is exactly what I'm getting. I want to hear Kevin. He's cute, and I'm curious if he's interesting and has something to say.
Was that?
That's his daughter. That's his daughter.
That's his daughter?
That's his daughter.
That's what I'm reading from.
Wait, I think Anderson sent that in.
Kevin, you're cute. Do you have something to say?
I'm not really sure where to start. I mean, I guess the Democratic Party definitely takes Black votes for granted, which kind of goes against the theory that that they actually have to deliver on those taken for granted votes in terms of delivering social programs to the inner cities. So it can't really be both ways. You either are taking in the votes for granted and not really delivering anything, or you're ready to ship the social programs in that direction and give the house away. It's got to be one or the other.
That's so racist, bro. What do you mean by social programs?
And you're saying
Black?
who's the guy? What guy calls Kevin cute?
That is so racist.
Guy,
it's a girl, they're Black. They're in need of social programs. Come on, dude.
Come on, all politicians are out there pimping for votes. You know that. Come on, guys, that's nothing new. They'll pimp and say.
No, but in other words, he's saying.
All right, let's not talk over each other.
You can't have them saying that they're not fighting for their votes, but then Democrats are willing and ready to throw welfare at them. Pretty much what you're saying.
I'm saying that they're either taking the votes for granted,
Which they are,
or they're buying them with social.
Oh, I got
things
you.
has to be true.
You can't have my bad. I misunderstood.
What were you going to say, Pete? You're going to say something. What I'm interested in.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully people start realizing that those policies just aren't working, right? And so
which policies per se? I hate
when you look at a lot of the Democratic-run cities and the state of some of these things, it turns into something where you're just looking at it like, hey, guys, like clearly this isn't working. So there's a bad cycle going here. We're still not, like we've always talked about, fixing the schools, providing the healthcare. We're not doing the basic things that we're supposed to be doing. So, like that being said, like clearly that's not working. I certainly feel bad though if they think they're going to flip to the other side and get help over there either. Because unfortunately, neither side has done anything to fix these problems. We know what they are; they're very easy to fix, and it is just it's absolutely unfortunate. So the real thing that's a problem here is that people are clamoring for as though they're a vote, and politicians look at groups of people as though they're votes and not as though they're actual people with real problems that need to be fixed.
Okay, and, who won in Virginia? Who is it that won in Virginia? The Republican, right?
Yeah, but hold on, Renee. I'm sorry for interrupting. Karen, are you there?
I'm here.
What's your thoughts? Do you feel that the Democrats have lost everything? What's your feeling? Your gut feeling? You don't have to do research. Just what your gut feeling is.
Absolutely not. I don't think that they've lost it completely. I mean, to an extent, to a degree, I kind of agree with what Renee was saying in the beginning as far as the Democrats or the Democratic Party um, being overly confident that they have all the minority votes, and maybe perhaps they lost the seat to Youngkin because they didn't do enough to appeal to the voters, right? To address what was important to them. Because I think as a voter, you vote for whoever you think will do what you want, or who is aligned with your beliefs, or who will work for you. So yeah, I think it's overconfidence, and a lot of people, especially when there are special elections, they don't really turn out to vote. They don't show up to vote. So maybe that might be one of the reasons why they lost the Virginia gubernatorial election.
Well, I mean, Democrats tend to have a lower turnout during off-year elections, like where there isn't a presidential candidate running.
It's
Well,
true.
that's part of my point.
True.
That not a lot of people turned out to vote. But I think part of the reason why too is, like I said, they weren't doing enough to appeal to the voters that they should have been appealing to. They kept highlighting what he said, or what he said about critical race theory.
Yeah.
Right.
And his comment about, because I was watching Fox News over the weekend, and just to see, their point of view. And they were highlighting what he said. Maybe they took it out of context. I don't know, because I didn't see the whole debate, but something about parents need to stay out of the school's way, and don't be telling the school what to teach the children, or, their children. That's wrong. If I would have heard that and didn't look into more, the whole what happened in a broader sense, to see in what context that was said in, of course, obviously I'm going to vote for the other guy, right, who seems to champion support for the educational system.
Well, they say that was a key factor. If you look at all the past elections, they say it's one moment that turns things. And they said that comment turned it, because I think it was the first debate. I didn't see it, but I was reading it. They said that instead of saying the school system, the people that are in education need to decide what our children learn. He said parents should not have a say in it. And it drove people crazy. And they latched onto that. The Republicans latched onto that and kept saying it, which I agree, that was a stupid thing to say. That, in my opinion alone, is what cost him the election. And if you look at most elections, it's one stupid thing someone says that changes an election. One stupid thing.
I don't agree with that, but the reason why I don't agree with it is because there was multiple things happening in Virginia. One was the
Democrats say a lot of stupid things.
Yeah, there
were
were
Republicans, dude. Yeah, thank God Republicans are only smart.
There's the Howard. He'd like to
Renee finish, please.
I agree with Renee.
I know.
Hold on, Kevin. Let Renee finish. Finish up.
Sure, go ahead.
I know that you guys ain't gonna want to hear this, but I know one of the big issues was the rape that happened in Virginia, and then there was a second rape, and that was brought up on Fox News.
I was going to bring that up.
That was brought up by Geraldo and that judge. Well, I don't know her name is, some judge that's on Fox News.
I know exactly who you're talking about, by the way.
When they
talked about it 3 times.
Yeah, when they went out on the street, they started asking people what was the deciding factor and how they voted. That was one of the issues. The other one was the push for critical race theory. And the third one was in general, what you said about them saying that parents should stay out of school business.
Well, Renee, wasn't it that they don't want to teach critical race theory?
They don't know.
Right. What do you think about that personally?
I think it's totally wrong.
Really, to teach U.S. history is wrong.
No, not the way. Okay, if you ever go on YouTube and you listen to these, what do they call them? They bring them into businesses and they train people on critical race and all that. They're pushing the idea that as if you're born white from a child, you are instantly racist.
No, that's not critical race theory at all.
Oh, you can look it up, dude.
Mike.
It's all over the place. There's
Renee,
an organization.
Renee.
there's
No,
an
it's wrong.
organization-
Of course.
No. I looked into this.
So did
looked
I.
into it.
Okay.
And the people pushing critical race theory is a group that wants to go into businesses and
No.
retrain employees on critical race theory.
Well, let me.
Critical race theory is teaching history as is.
No,
Okay, let
No.
me ask Pete.
You're wrong.
Who
I'm not wrong at all.
Oh,
No,
hold
you're
on,
not.
hold on,
You're
guys.
totally
Let's just
wrong.
get. Hold on,
Not wrong.
stop. Pete, do you feel like Renee hit the nail on the head there? What's your interpretation of critical race theory?
What's my interpretation of it?
Yes.
I did research on this.
Well, I think it's
Mike,
I
I'll
guess,
call on you next. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
a take on history that takes into account maybe the social injustices that could be imparted by one's race. Yeah, does that make sense? Short take.
No.
That's a fair interpretation.
Mike,
Okay,
please
yeah.
say. Oh, I'm sorry, Pete. Did I interrupt you?
No, go for it.
Go ahead, Mike. Please get in there.
It started on college campuses, and it kind of stayed on college campuses, and then somehow leaped into the mainstream of, well, this is what they really want to do. This is what the blacks and the whites really want to do, is to bring up all the negative stuff about our racial history and demean whites along the way. And to me, Renee, it's that worst case scenario thing again. And yes, you've read about it. Yes, you've seen examples of it. And there are going to be people who are going to embrace the worst case portion of critical race theory and say, this is exactly what we need to do. But if you bring it to the middle a little bit and come up with the argument or the idea that should we perhaps do a better job of describing our history in terms of our, let's say, the racial divide, I would answer, yeah, I think we should do a better job. Should we turn it 90-10, that whites are totally responsible and that blacks would be living millionaires if it wasn't for us? Ain't buying it. Not buying it.
Okay.
Never gonna buy it.
Here's my problem with it. My problem with it is that
give me 1 second. I just want to say that it says on the stream, it says critical race theory is not U.S. history. If Sean doubts that, he should hear how the media is interpreting critical race theory. Go ahead, Renee.
okay,
Don't care
my
about the
problem-
media, first of all. Care about facts.
Okay, a fact is that critical race theory is a movement started by like civil rights activists and some law students, things like that, right? And what they want to do is they want to incorporate it into education. This is what I understand. And they want to start it at very early ages, right? When kids are innocent, right? You're going to put in the head of young white kids, you almost want to embed in them this bad, they had nothing to do with this, bro. Nothing.
Agreed.
Right?
Oh, it's
They have
not even
nothing
what-
to do with
yeah.
it. But then you're going to push this crazy racist, all this crazy stuff like almost into their heads when it shouldn't even be like that.
So what stuff are we putting into their heads is what I would have to ask you.
Okay. What they're saying is they want to, okay, you'd have to can you look up a video on YouTube?
Well, no, I'm just asking you
Chris,
what are
because
they pushing?
every video I've seen is either a white person arguing with a black activist and the black activist telling the white person why they're racist and why kids should be taught that they are inherently racist.
Well, that's not
can
what
tell
I
you why
understand.
this
Pete,
is
go
Yeah,
ahead.
for
Pete.
kids.
you
Yeah.
can
Pete,
look
go
up
ahead.
any video.
I think what needs to be said is that if you start teaching kids that there's a difference in race, they start looking at things through that angle, and it might just be dangerous to impart that on children. So, like,
Is
the
that
innocence of
critical race
children-
theory? Is teaching them
Yes.
there's a difference between races? No, it's
Yeah.
not.
There's
Okay,
no-
guys.
there's a
That's
difference
your
between
opinion
races.
because
Okay, guys. I'm
That's
gonna close this down because this is getting too testy. The idea is to have a conversation, not to get upset. Mike, would you like to close on this? Because we have more topics to talk about. Mike?
No. Go ahead. Move on. I don't want to have final
Okay.
word. Go ahead.
Okay, so
No,
Like that.
I'm trying to be fair, Renee.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be fair.
Okay, that's awesome. I
okay,
like that.
Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, not Sean. Sorry, Sean. Kevin, is there anything you would like to say, because I've kind of cut you out?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I understand, critical race theory is really more about how there was a structural ability to through plundering like black and brown countries and kind of creating a giant pile of wealth that was the modern economy was founded on. In order to really understand how the modern society works, you kind of have to look at it through that lens, and how racism isn't really just having hate for other races in your heart, because they are that race, or you think that your different races are superior. It's feeding into a system that was built on dividing people and profiting off of it.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. So our next
Anderson still thinks you're sexy too.
I understand. Okay. I'm gonna move on. So I'm gonna open this up a little bit strangely. How I'm gonna open it up is like this.
Chris,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I want to say one last thing, and I apologize because you gave me the floor. Just for people to think about can you name me a country on our planet that doesn't have racism?
No.
Every planet has racism. Okay.
Every country.
Sorry, pardon me. Every
And
country
planet.
has racism. Yeah, every country has racism. So
Yes.
we're dealing with the American version of that. That's all. But it's not, it's not unique to be racist. Racism is part of being human. It's a human flaw, not an American flaw.
Oh,
that's what I keep having difficulty with, because either side, I say get rid of the term racism, because racism is pointing fingers. We have a racial divide that we need to address in education, in our society, in jobs, all manner of which. That's the way I would like to see us deal with this topic.
To this day in Mexico, if you're born light skinned, I mean really light skinned, like we're more Spanish looking, you're gonna succeed in life. Or if you're born dark, short, and more of a Mexican, people from original Aztec natives, you're very unlikely to ever succeed in that country. You look at Mexican television, everyone's white and beautiful, and you don't see no dark people except
American television too.
The parts that they're playing are maids or butlers or things like that. So it's very racist in Mexico. Just like other countries,
It's here too, Renee, man. Us short, fat people don't do well.
So I want to read
Sure you do.
this.
That guy, a comedian, there's all kinds of comedians.
Yeah, but that's all they can be is short, fat comedians.
I want to read this this thing that a viewer sent to me. A tenement of CRT, critical race theorem, is the racism and disparate racial outcomes are the result of complex change in an awful, subtle social and institutional dynamics rather than explicit and intentional prejudice of individuals. And then the other thing they circled was CRT scholars view race and white supremacy as the intersectional social construct, that advances the interest of white people at the expense of persons. Then that's it. I'm going to close it up.
Think about it. Think about that, dude. Think about what you just said.
That's what Kevin said. Exactly what Kevin said. I mean, he really did in a different way.
Okay. So, go. Anything else?
Nope. Move on.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. So, guys. I'm going to open this up strangely, but this is something that was, really moving for me. So, Mike and I were talking a couple of days ago, and somewhere in our conversations, Mike had mentioned, if this country was to face real hardship where there was bread lines and extreme unemployment he's like, I'm gonna, I'm gonna barricade myself and go with my son, and he's got guns, and that's how we're gonna do. And when Mike said that, I thought he was being ridiculous. I was like, oh, come on. And then I started reading about other countries where there's extreme poverty and how people kidnap other people, like in Haiti, and just all this crime. And I started thinking to myself, how could people get that desperate? Those are, horrible people to kidnap, rob, and do all this stuff.
That's what I would do.
Have you ever seen those videos of people when they're out of chicken nuggets at Burger King?
And they throw a fit.
Not overnight. Like if they had something to really flip out about, things could get crazy.
So the thing was, I was really like, I judged those other countries, those other people. And then if it was not this morning or yesterday, I shared with the group a video about Afghans selling their children, and to have money for food, to feed their other children, to feed themselves. And I had murder in my heart. I had murder in my heart when a 55-year-old, bought a 9-year-old girl to marry. I had murder in my heart when a 70-year-old took some young teenager. And I had murder in my heart when the 9-year-old dug in her heels not to be taken away from her family. And then I remember, I don't know who I told, but I said, I would rather go rob somebody than sell my little girl. And I didn't know if I was a good person anymore or not.
Yeah,
that stuff's been going on for years, and I don't agree with it at all, because I have a daughter and I have granddaughters. I don't agree with that at all, but unluckily it has been going on for years in other countries. And I agree with you, Chris. I would be in jail for shooting somebody, because I would take my gun and be a high-powered shooter and go, bye, thank you, boom, done.
I mean, that sounds very, that sounds very powerful. But the thing is, will you be willing to rob and steal and kidnap possibly someone to feed your kids?
Hell yeah.
Yes, hell yes. Hell yes.
Yeah.
My kids.
Oh yeah.
Any one of us who have kids has
absolutely.
got to say the same. Wait, ask Karen. I'd like to hear a female point of view on this. Karen,
Karen?
Yes, I'm here.
what's your opinion on that? Would you steal, rob to feed your kids if they were hungry?
So this is what I said in our little group chat. I said, why couldn't he just sold weed instead of selling his daughter?
Because no one has money. No one has money to buy weed. Everyone's struggling.
No, I mean, it's just
Islamic.
Not the question, Karen. Would you rob or steal to feed your kids if you had no other means?
I probably would.
Thank
Instead
you.
of selling my kids, yes.
Okay, thank you. Good. Oh crap! Where'd Chris go? Chris dumped.
No, I'm
I
here.
guess it might
I'm here.
depend on how many kids.
Oh, he's
I
there,
have,
okay.
Really.
Oh, oh my God, Pete!
Do I have like X amount of kids? How many kids are we talking here?
If I had one, I could handle it okay, but
Oh, you can sell a couple. You still have a couple
yeah,
left.
like,
you don't have kids, do you, Pete?
Kids. I mean, no, I
That's a
have
young one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
one. One I wouldn't sell. If I had
Right, I
six,
can't. Right.
If I had
sometimes
six,
lose her,
one
but I
could
would
go.
never sell her.
So here's the thing, like, how many of us judge the people in Haiti? How many of us judge these people in third world countries that are robbing, stealing, and kidnapping? How many of us here have done that?
Not me.
Really? No one's. Because I judged.
Dude,
hella
I
judged
can't
them.
judge them. I've been to these countries in the military. I've seen the poverty there, and I've seen what the government does for them. It's hard. What would I do if I was there? Probably the same thing. I can't say I wouldn't to feed my kids.
Mike, what's your thoughts? Because you were the one that at first, like when we started talking about this, you said you would barricade yourself and whatnot and get ready for
Well,
Armageddon. What's your thoughts? on that?
Little different circumstance, but yeah, I think we were talking more along the lines of if a civil strife broke out in the United States, how difficult it would be.
That's correct.
Yeah, and I get very upset when I even hear people talking about that. Well, you know what? We may need to turn to the gun to keep our country because it's changing so quickly. And if we don't do something now, it's never going to be the same. If we went into a violent civil war of sorts, probably off the top of my head, I would say within a month, we'd have 100 million people die. And that's probably conservative. And the main reason they die is because they couldn't get any food. There would be no food. We're bitching and moaning and groaning because we can't get our toys for Christmas, right? We're worried about our toys this year. Oh my God, what are we going to do with our kids? What are we going to do with all the things that, we're short in supply. We don't fucking know what short in supply is in America. We've never known it. But if the reality, if something happened like that and people did turn to their guns, it wouldn't be a civil war. It would be horrible.
Devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be just to be frank about it, the only people who would survive are the people that would have guns.
But then you still got to figure out a way to get food. I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you're tongue in cheek there. But
People know how to get guns, Pete. That's the problem. They go to the houses of people who have them.
Right. Yeah.
But if they don't have them, then it's very hard to get them from the people that have them.
Wait and see. You have to sleep sometime, brother.
So the question is, I feel like donating to Afghanistan. Does anyone else?
No.
No.
We have enough problems here.
Who are we donating to?
Yeah, let's take care of our own people, our own homeless, our own veterans that are homeless. Take care of them first.
Taliban?
Yeah, this is.
Hold on, Pete. I think that's pretty strong. What? Would I donate to the Taliban?
Yeah, because that's who the money would end up with.
Yeah, like who are you donating to?
Well, okay,
exactly.
That's what I'm struggling with, right?
Because
I don't want these people. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No. Sorry, there are some sources that could get some rescue in there, but it would be few and far between. But there would be some that would be able to get in. But yeah, you're not going to mail a check to the government.
I don't want to see a family sell their daughter or their son to some pedophile or some pervert.
Do you think giving them money will change that?
I think it would help. Like that's the whole point of being Islamic, right?
That's what I said. Do you think it would change that?
Yes, I do. That's why I would say
that. Do you think this hasn't gone on for centuries, Chris?
Exactly, Chris. I think it's partly cultural.
It is cultural.
Thank you, Karen.
Especially in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know that. I don't even know if I should say this, but in Muslim religion,
could be wrong.
Muslim religions, it's pretty how can I say this?
Well, from our understanding.
From my understanding, from people that have been over there in war and stuff like that, it's pretty common for men to sleep with young boys.
Yeah, there was a whole documentary on that from Vice.
Yeah, and that's like a natural thing. Like, that's like it's normal.
Wait, that's a bad thing?
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Don't write in.
What? Let's be careful.
Yeah.
Only kidding.
Well, still, be careful.
Only kidding.
You can be canceled for that.
Yeah.
I said we can.
Nice. Then I'd have my Thursday nights to myself.
Be careful.
I'd have Thursday nights just to me and the wife then.
Kevin, what's your word? Because you've been mighty quiet out there.
Yeah, I've no
Kevin,
idea.
Come on, you got fans, dude. Come on, you got fans out there. Because
Anderson loves you. Come on.
Well, I think that it's nuts to kind of make it a cultural issue or an over there issue. I mean, this is definitely a universal problem.
Mm-hmm.
America has more than enough of similar anecdotes. I don't understand. How much money do you think that daughter was sold for into slavery? And then look at it.
3,000.
12 goats.
3,000 US dollars.
I thought
how much
goats.
money did all of those? how much money did all of those reporters going over to write that story spend on flights and hotels and all the other stuff they
Well, you
were
know,
to, like,
that's so
make the
funny
story?
that you say that, Kevin, because I was like thinking to myself, are these reporters like doing the Star Trek thing where they're
They
supposed
were
to
videotaping the girl, but I guess before
Yeah.
she got
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
That's- that's-
how come they're
yeah.
not giving them the money to save her? Is this like
Yeah, but-
National Geographic?
yeah, but
where you see
Chris,
a fucking
Chris,
lion eat a
Yeah.
baby
Does
gazelle?
stopping
Like,
one
ooh,
fix the problem? Does stopping one fix the problem? I mean
Yeah.
it's
it
satisfaction.
fixes the problem for that
No,
family.
no, I
that little
understand.
girl's gonna get
Stopping
raped.
one fixes the situation, but does it stop a problem? Does
I
bringing
respect you a
attention to
lot,
the
Sean,
does
but
bringing attention to the problem make it better?
okay, well, they
Yes.
can be like, well, guess what we did? We saved this one, but there's others that are not going to be saved. Can we do something to fix the problem? Because you telling me that just upsets me because I'm not okay with that.
No, I'm not okay with it
I mean, I
either,
want to
Chris.
kill that old man.
I'm not okay with it either.
Hey, you
I'm
know,
not
it's,
saying you are, but when you tell me like, oh, that's, you teach a man how to fish and he'll eat forever, or give him a fish, he'll only eat for a day. It's like, well, fuck, it's more than just that man eating forever.
Yeah.
It's that little girl not being raped.
No,
Who
I
told
dude,
the
I totally
film
agree with you.
crew?
Totally agree.
The only solution is to go over and nation build and give them our values, our
Wait,
good.
Yeah.
Wait, so we should have
Wait a
invade
minute, I don't know if
Afghanistan
you're
again.
being tongue in cheek when you say give them our good
Yeah.
American
Oh no,
values.
he is being tongue in cheek because we're not going to invade Afghanistan
Yeah,
again.
right.
nah, we
But
just
maybe
will not.
maybe we can use it as an opportunity to say, okay, if you truly want our help, A, B, C, and D, you start taking care of A, B, C, and D, then you will see some money. And
Yeah,
then
Mike, do you
help
think
see-
Mike, do you think they want our help, Mike?
Can I say something?
I
real
think
quick?
they'll take anybody's
Okay,
help.
But do you
let's
think they
talk over
want
each other.
our help with restrictions?
Well, of course
Well,
not. The answer is
then-
no. But
Yeah.
what, Renee? What
Thank you.
were you going to say?
Okay. Us helping countries with food and supplies, we've been doing that for years. Remember the whole Africa thing, all the stars getting together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Live Aid, I believe.
Okay, it never stopped anything, bro. It's never stopped anything. It's never helped anything because most of that food and most of the aid that's ever sent, dropped off by planes, however you want to say it, never gets to the people, dude.
Exactly.
Well, how about this? I have a wild fucking imagination. Why don't there's so many people who can have kids and who want to adopt? Why don't they give money to that family to take over guardianship of that child?
Are you saying sell it to an American person?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
No, okay. Well, let me answer that. No,
I'm a
And you might-
55-year-old guy that wants to adopt a young
come on.
Boy, we're-
Afghan girl.
Families, we can even have
Yeah.
Muslim families that can have
Thank you,
children.
Pete.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you, Pete.
Am I an asshole for thinking that? That
No,
we
Yes.
have
not
a
at all.
Muslim family that wants a child?
But
There
hey,
needs
did
to
you
be
guys,
regulations.
It
did
would
you
be a
guys hear
limit.
that quote from Elon Musk?
That was
Somebody,
about the world hunger thing.
Yeah, the world hunger. They said that with $600 billion or something like that he makes from Tesla, he could end world hunger. And he
That's
said,
silly.
okay. He goes, okay. He goes, I'll tell you what, prove it, and I will donate that money.
Yeah,
Or
he
sell
said
stock.
his stock.
Bring,
Yeah.
bring up that money and do it.
Right.
They're never gonna prove it, dude, because we
Okay,
put
so
so
let's-
much money into other countries, trillions of dollars.
Let's
Hasn't ended anything.
let's bring it back to focus though. If we could have for a temporary time, right? Is that what you were trying to say, Mike? For a temporary
Well,
time,
yeah.
can we adopt those kids? Can a family adopts those kids until some gets regulated out? I'm trying to give a solution instead of letting kids get raped.
No, it would be helpful, but it would probably be on such a small scale, Chris, that it would barely. I mean, if you could save 1,000 girls, that would be a high goal in my mind in terms of just all of a sudden whisking them away to another country. But
And there'd be 10,000 that still went through it, Mike, right?
yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
like the whole Schindler's List thing, right? They made a whole fucking movie about Schindler's List, right?
yeah.
How many millions of Jews died, but Schindler saved this
No, I
amount,
get
a
you,
small
Chris.
amount.
Chris, I
Someone
totally
fucking
agree.
gets saved.
But the
I'm not
problem
mad
is,
at you,
first of all,
Sean. I'm just trying to have a
we
conversation.
can't get into Afghanistan right now. We locked out of that place. We chose to get out.
Never left.
Exactly.
You
But
know?
how about start by teaching them or changing their mindset that you can't
No,
just buy females or little girls as property.
Will
know
you
what I'm
change their
saying?
mindset, Karen?
They're
How
getting
about-
married. They're using
how
they're
about-
using marriage, Karen. What they're basically saying is as long as they're married, then they can do that. So like, that's that, and the Quran will allow them to do that as long as they're quote married.
Well,
So
Yeah.
that's how they're getting around that.
Wait,
Hey,
Karen.
hey, how
Karen,
about-
So
how
it's
about-
not. So it's not just cultural. It's their religion,
right.
is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So
That's
Karen,
part of
you're
it. That's
you're
part of it.
Filipino, right?
Yes.
I've been there. I love that country to death. I'm saying this honestly. I've been there multiple times. The culture there is different also. They don't see it as the same way that we do here in America. Young girls are with older men constantly. It's the way it is. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, but it's the way it is. I don't agree with a lot of the situations across the world, but it's culturally the way it is. We have to change cultures.
Maybe if we showed
Hey.
the Taliban as
But we
Sarah
can't do
Silverman
that as
special,
outsiders. We
they
can't
would,
go there and tell
Hold on,
them,
we're talking over
Hey.
each other. What, Pete? What did you say? We can't be talking over each other, guys. Go ahead.
Well,
What?
I said maybe if we showed the Taliban a Sarah Silverman special, they would
Oh,
change their
come on.
mind.
Yeah, right. Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Karen.
Go ahead,
How
Karen. Go
about-
back.
Hey, how about before we help the Afghans, we
Yeah.
pull the people we left in Afghanistan. We try to help them first. to get
All
back
right,
on
all right, Karen, go ahead. Go ahead, Karen.
Karen,
no,
what-
I was just trying to say, like that kind of doesn't make any sense either for us to be expected to go into somebody else's country again and try to tell them, hey, your practices are
Yeah,
not
stop treating
morally
women like crap.
right,
It-
and like what you said with regards to the Philippines, young girls marrying older men. My parents, they are 28 years apart, and but yes, so yes, so I don't know that there are like the age difference, if there are any younger females marrying an older person, but my point is I think it's a little bit different because with my parents at least, and they were both already working. They were college graduates. My dad was a dentist. My mom was a teacher
Nice.
at a high school, and she met him at his practice. Actually, that's how they met. So I don't necessarily agree that really applies to my parents or the practices in the Philippines because it's not the norm for the Philippines to marry off your young child to a gray-haired
Yeah.
older person, let
Mhm.
alone selling them, their kids to them. Like that practice right there, you just said, one of you guys said that it's part of their religion. I disagree with. I don't know. I'm not gonna comment anymore because if it's part of somebody's religion, obviously that's their practice. That's what they
All I
see
can
as
say is I'm
normal.
very happy that your mom and your dad care about each other, even though they're 28 years apart. That's awesome. And I see nothing wrong with that if they care about each other. Nothing.
And keep in mind, in our culture, we have dowries. Basically, what the man would come forward, typically an older man, way back in the day, not before, 7 generations ago.
Back in Mike's
okay,
time.
for four horses and a plot of land, I'll offer we'll allow our daughter to marry you. That's been going on forever, everywhere, hasn't it? I
Yeah.
would assume.
Older
No, it
was
has.
that than Anna Nicole Smith?
Yeah, but that was her choice. Come on, dude. She did it for profit. Really?
I mean, it's culturally, it's accepted.
Well, no, she did it for profit. She was there for profit. But I agree, Kevin. That's she did it because she could. And the guy accepted it, and she accepted it.
To go
But there's
back
no
to-
question that was for profit.
For sure. Yeah. But it's
For me
like,
to-
I guess if there's at least a profit motive, I guess when there's not a profit motive, everyone's like, yo, what are you doing, lady?
He was very happy.
But it's still,
to go back to Afghanistan, everybody knew at the time, we attacked Afghanistan, we get in and we took care of the business that we needed to take care of. You friggin' get your ass out of there and you go home. This nation building stuff hasn't proved successful. we talked about that over and over and over again. But at the same time, to me, when there's an opportunity that presents itself for people to learn or to guide them toward the right way, then you take it. And this is where I would be. You know, if I'm the king of the world right now, it's like, you need Afghanistan, you need help, but you need to show us, and that's from the world community, not just America. That's another fault. Let's make the world community respond and go, hey, you need to come. You need to start showing us some changes here toward creating a little bit more of a society that people can flourish in a little bit better, and then we're willing to help out, but it's going to be a real short string on this, because if it's just going to go to all the corrupt, all the money goes to the warlords and so on, then clearly the only way that country's going to change is if the people get pissed off enough to change it themselves. And
well, exactly. Mogadishu we didn't help with. There was no profit there. You know, it's just, it's crazy. Sorry, go ahead. Somebody else. Sorry. But Mogadishu was not a profit.
Okay. So I want to sort of bring it back in, you know, for me, it's harsh because it really affected me, and I wanted to do something and I can't do anything. And, you know, I wanted to donate money, but then it comes to the point where Pete said, are you going to donate money to the Taliban? Well, if it could save a little girl, then yeah, I will. So I don't know.
You could research specific groups that will pretty much, or can somewhat assure you that this is the way we're going to try to spend that money. And, you know, the ones that are allowed in, Doctors Without Borders, things like that, if they're still allowed in there to be able to do some things. But Kevin touched on this real quick, and I don't mean to be too lecturing tonight. I guess I am, but really, this is the tip of the iceberg on a much bigger issue. The haves and the have-nots. Look what's going on in I'm sorry, I just lost the name of the country, where they're fighting right now. It's supposedly brutal, vicious fighting. I'm sorry, I lost the name of it.
I'll come up region. Where's in
the region? I know. What's in the eastern world?
Like Burma, Myanmar.
Yeah, the Middle East is always.
Well, not. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think they had a coup. Didn't they have a coup?
You'll get it, Mike. You'll get it in a few minutes. Just
keep
going, and we'll get it in a few minutes.
Who had the coup?
Somebody just had another military coup.
Yeah, the one where they took out the woman, right? She was
and the military took over again.
Yeah,
not Haiti.
That's not Haiti.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to be haves versus have-nots, and the gaps are going to continue to get larger and larger, obviously, as we continue in this world. And somewhere along the way, we're going to have to come to grips with that. Or, as cheesy as the story was, Hunger Games. Remember Hunger Games?
I do remember.
Basically a romance story. The only thing in that story that really stuck out to me was they had created 7 divisions in the world. I believe it was 7 zones. And that was the premise of the story. They took one person from each zone and they competed in the Hunger Games. But I could easily see that happening in our world. Just basically zoning things off to where the have countries, Europe, America, zone it off so that the poor countries basically, and you got to stay where you are. You're not allowed to move around and do what you want to do. And then supposedly the world government is going to take care of everything. I could easily see that happening within 50 years.
Potential for sure.
Well, Myanmar is in a conflict right now.
They had a coup a couple months ago.
Sudan
had one today. Yeah, Sudan had one today.
Jeez.
Crazy.
Well, again, you know, it's one of the situations where obviously whoever has money. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Long day. I was up at 3:30. Sorry.
But, you know, there's obviously not all Afghanis are selling their children. So there is some type of gap here. And Mike is correct where that something like that could possibly happen here. Karen, do you have any thoughts? Because we're going to start wrapping up.
No, I said everything I was thinking.
What you had to say.
Yes. I mean, going back to the selling of your daughter in our little group chat thing, I mentioned, maybe you need to start changing the men's mindset and stop
Oh, yeah, you did say
objectifying
that.
women. But
Yeah.
when somebody said that it's part of their religion, I mean, how can you argue
Part of
against somebody's religion?
to objectify women.
Still not cool.
No, I agree. I agree. I agree, but not to sound dismissive. I'm addressing Kevin when I said maybe it's cultural. There's really nothing that we can do as outsiders to try to retrain their brains and how to live their lives, because that's how they were brought up to live. That's their way of living.
The only thing we can do is invade Afghanistan again.
Yeah, no, that's not no.
I know.
Kevin,
I know.
Do you have any thoughts?
Culture around the entire world,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone else needs to step into this besides the U.S.
Okay, well, again, I'm watching it. I want to do something about it.
Oh, I do too. It's terrible. It's despicable.
Like, I'm not worried about if my country is doing something or not. It's something I personally want to do. If I have money to send, I want to send money there. And I don't want someone to judge me and telling me, I mean, not that
if it helps,
but I don't want him thinking, oh my God, this guy's sending money to the Taliban,
Yeah, but Chris, if it helps.
You have no way of knowing. I'm making a fund.
I have no way of knowing.
No, there are groups that monitor that, Chris. There's lots of groups that monitor the effectiveness of how many dollars you spend and where it's going to go. To all things. They'll let you know if there's groups that are still in Afghanistan and if they're being effective. They may all been shut out. They may all be gone. So I don't know.
Evan, do you have any final words?
I mean, yeah, I think that it's just weird. I mean, I get what you're saying, and I also do want to do something about all the wrongs that are happening in the world. I think that it would be good for everybody to think about like why these specific wrongs are being highlighted when there might be a lot other wrong happening that
What do you mean by other? Like
directly into your life.
What do you mean by that? I don't know what you're saying.
I mean, so a girl being sold in Afghanistan doesn't affect your life as much as a girl being sold in Trenton, or there's a lot of different stories that could be happening. I think
it's not being highlighted to me.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think we should all think about why this particular story is being highlighted. I'll give my answer, I guess. The answer is because it's we're leaving Afghanistan starving. We were in there. We were, occupying the place. We almost had the place, democratized, and
never had that place democratized. That place was never going to be democratized.
They're selling their children, not able to feed themselves.
But that's not fair because that place was never going to be democratized. We were just spinning our tires there. That's not fair, Kevin. That's not a fair statement.
Well, we were making progress. We were making
progress.
20 years of progress.
Oh, guys, his statement wasn't to argue whether it was legitimate or not. His statement was, hey, we went in, we made an attempt, and now that it's turned to shit, why are the reporters picking on the shit part?
No, I agree, Mike. I agree. I agree. But we did not make a lot of progress. When we were there, it was progress. We left and it deteriorated.
Yep.
No, I agree. You hit.
Are we learning? Are we learning?
God, no. I wish we did.
Yeah.
I wish we did.
Well, I guess
guys, change happens on its own. You can't force change.
So, Chris,
I love that little pearl of wisdom, Pete. Change happens on.
So, my final point is, people stop looking at political parties. Look at what's important. Look at the issue. Stop going Democrat or Republican. Look at what's important to you, because that's what's more important. People that follow just political parties, you don't help anything. You don't. Look at what's the important point.
That's definitely interesting, Sean. And that's kind of what Mike was going to earlier, where it was you haven't seen any results in 8 months. Maybe we should try the other flavor. I don't know if it goes to maybe you need to try to buy in a little longer and see if things actually work rather than, bouncing back and forward every year and a half, essentially kind of having a continuous election cycle. Or the other option is coming to the middle and making more solutions that are where you can get a consensus behind them.
Mhm.
Okay.
Anderson says yes.
Thank you very much for listening to We Could Be Wrong, but who cares? Guys, if you've gotten this far in the show, listening to it on podcast, our email is wecoulddbewrong@aol.com. I'm also looking at statistics and I'm finding out that people are not listening to the last 10 minutes of the show. So, so panel, please remind me to tell us to say our email in the beginning of the show. So,
There you go.
but you can email us at wecoulddbewrong@aol.com. What did you say? I'm sorry.
We're running out of steam.
Let's start saying something really outrageous the last 10 minutes of the show.
No, but thank you very much, everyone, and have a good night and see you soon. And we are on YouTube. You can see us on YouTube at We Could Be Wrong. Thank you. And thank you for those who watched and participated. I'd like to thank you for people.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. It's pretty good for not announcing it, but we
Thank
are
you.
live now. Thank you.
We're going to do this every time. Thank you.
Bye.
Hold on. I'm still recording and I want to take off. Okay.
That's all right. Record away, baby. I'm going to do something special.
Okay, guys. Hold on.